What if I told you that in every corner of our country there lie houses shrouded in eerie tales, where chilling histories and ghostly echoes linger? These aren't just made-up haunted houses, they have chilling tales that can give you goosebumps. From crime scenes to old abandoned buildings, these houses, usually on the outskirts of towns, all have spooky stories that will keep you on edge. Ever heard of such a haunted house near your area? If not, we have got the top 5 most haunted house stories. But before we get started, brace yourselves by clicking the subscribe button and hitting the bell icon. Now let's get started. Number 1. Behind the closed doors of houses thought to be haunted, there's a mysterious world of rituals. Ever heard of exorcisms? These ancient practices are like something out of a movie, where experienced experts try to kick out evil spirits from these places. Imagine these experts performing sacred ceremonies to chase away supernatural forces living within the walls. It's like a real-life spooky adventure. Picture the dimly lit rooms, the scent of incense, and the echoes of ancient chants as these spiritual warriors try to confront the unseen and make the house safe again. Can you imagine witnessing such a profound battle between the seen and unseen within the confines of a haunted house? This creepy event happened in a house in the Hinsdale House in New York. In this creepy house, exorcisms were done desperately, and you can almost feel the ancient rituals still hanging in the air. The old owners, scared out of their minds, disappeared mysteriously, leaving the house shrouded in a really spooky puzzle. Many ghost hunting teams went into the Hinsdale House, attracted by its spooky reputation. They recorded some seriously scary stuff that even experts can't explain. What could be so frightening that it made owners run away and paranormal investigators almost scared out of their wits? Whether you're someone who doubts ghosts or totally believes in them, the videos from this recent ghost hunt are mind-boggling. Imagine creepy and unexplained things happening during the investigation. But what did they discover there? Some of the scariest videos you've ever seen on YouTube. But here's a warning. Messing with the supernatural, especially trying to talk to ghosts at 3 a.m., might be too creepy. It's like a chilling adventure that's probably better to avoid. Number 2. Next up is Victoria's Black Swan Inn, one of the spookiest places in Texas. Right in the heart of the state, this eerie inn has a reputation for all things supernatural. There's a mysterious portal that seems to amp up the ghostly happenings, and our investigation takes us through the haunted house and its nearby barn, rumored to be a home for some pretty negative spirits. Built back in the 1800s on the grounds of the Battle of Salado, this Greek revival mansion has a history tied to important San Antonio socialites. Now, their spectral figures are part of the ghostly tales surrounding the estate. The barn, once a busy dairy farm, is like a hot spot for paranormal energy. People like the Ripstein and Mahler families, Catherine Holbrook, and Blanche Woods left their mark, with many believed to still linger as ghostly echoes. The current owner, Jo Ann Rivera, shares her home with her family and the lingering spirits, occasionally welcoming paranormal investigators and ghost tour fans. Now, in the midst of all these ghostly stories, there's a creepy porcelain doll that's got everyone speculating about its role in the spooky happenings. This haunted tale, where the past meets the present, is full of intrigue, captivating anyone brave enough to explore the mysteries of Victoria's Black Swan Inn. Number 3. The Villisca Axe Murder House is another spooky place you can't ignore. Its backstory is enough to give anyone chills. Back on June 10, 1912, something awful happened. Josiah and Sarah Moore, their 4 kids and 2 guests, were brutally killed in their home in Villisca, Iowa. This horrible crime, still a big mystery, turned their house into one of the scariest haunted spots in the country. And get this, people actually pay over $400 just to spend a night there. The house is like a magnet for spooky stuff. During tours, strange things happen. Voices of children, falling lamps, ladders moving on their own, and objects flying through the air. In 2014, Things got even crazier when a ghost hunter, after spending a night there, ended up stabbing himself. The house's website doesn't lie. Skeptics who visit usually end up believing in ghosts because of all the unexplainable things that go on. Now, in October 2023, U.S. Ghost Adventures, known for their fun and historical overnight stays in haunted places, wants to buy this infamous house. Imagine what they'll uncover there. Number 4. Next house that has grabbed everyone's attention has to be Boise Murder House. In Boise, Idaho, at 805 W. Linden Street, stands a 2-story, 2,728 square foot craftsman-style home that grabs attention, but for all the wrong reasons. Covered in soot, with broken windows and a yard filled with debris, it looks like something from a deserted movie set. But the real horror lies beyond this worn-out facade. Locals call it the Boise Murder House, or more spine-chillingly, the Chop Chop House, because of a gruesome murder that happened there over 30 years ago. People who lived there or even just rented a room have stories about a seriously eerie vibe, especially from the basement. Reports tell tales of the paranormal, like shadowy figures appearing and disappearing out of nowhere, strange liquids trickling down the walls, and all sorts of unexplained things hanging in the air. The Boise Murder House has a haunting legacy, making it more than just an old abandoned building. Its past, marked by a terrifying event, refuses to be forgotten, casting a ghostly shadow over this seemingly deserted relic. Number 5. Now let's talk about the Amityville home. In Long Island, New York, on Ocean Avenue, this Dutch colonial house is perhaps the most famous haunted spot in the country and even beyond. But here's the thing, was it really a spooky reality or just a rumor? No matter what, the Amityville home has an incredibly dark history. On November 13th, 1974, a tragedy went down when Louise and Ronald DeFeo Sr., along with 4 of their kids, were brutally killed in the house. The only one left was Ronald DeFeo Jr., who was charged for those awful murders. After these gruesome murders, perhaps the ghosts of the deceased stayed back. A year later, the Lutz family decided to move in. When they moved in, the family was not scared off by the house's creepy past and the memories of the previous family. But this was just the beginning of strange events. And just 28 days into their stay, the family took off real quick after being scared to death by the paranormal activities happening. The family claimed that a very dark spirit forced them to leave. The shadow of Amityville keeps making people wonder about what's true and what's just plain terrifying. Final thoughts. What's your take on these spine-chilling real-life ghost stories? How do these stories resonate with your beliefs? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you've had any first-hand supernatural experiences, we'd love to hear your stories for possible inclusion in our next videos. In the meantime, keep the spooky vibes alive and stay safe in the mysterious realms that surround us. Until next time, stay spooky.